Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today for this very tutorial I'm going to be sharing with you guys how you can pad your bustier or your tube top so it looks something like this. It's actually very simple, and if this is what you're interested in, please stay tuned until the end of this tutorial. I have my lining piece and my actual fabric already cut out, and I also made use of paper gum and hairstay to fuse into the lining and the actual fabric respectively. So I'm going to be making use of a wording for this tutorial, or what we know as breast pad in Nigeria. So this is my wording. I'm going to go ahead and fold it into two because I want to cut out the side front, and this side front comes in two pieces. Okay, so this is one part of my side front. I'm just going to use one side since the side fronts are the same, and I'm going to follow the shape of my curvy part of the bustier and then cut out my wording. So can you see what I'm doing right now? It's actually very simple. So just from the under bust, you're going to follow the shape of your cup and cut it out. You have no rules to it. It's actually very simple. Just do yours like this and you're going to get it perfectly well. Okay, so you might have some people's own extending towards the side seam. It's actually okay to do that. All right, so you can see I've cut out two parts, and we have on this wording the shiny part. That is actually where you should place on the wrong part of your fabric, because that is where the gum is. Okay, so I'm going to quickly cut out about half an inch from the upper part. Reason is because I want my lining not to be coming out by the time I turn it out with my actual fabric. So now that we are done with the side front, I'm going to quickly bring in the center front. And to cut out the center front, you're going to have to place your wording on fold, and it remains on fold after you cut it out. So go down by half an inch and then ensure that it doesn't exceed the under bust points. Now I've cut it out, and I'm going to raise up the actual fabric and ensure that I cut out the down parts. So after I cut out, this is what I have, and yours should also look like this. Okay, and you can see that none of these things exceeded the under bust point. Can you see what I have here? Now that I'm done cutting out for the actual fabric using my wording, I'm going to use my feasible interface, the lighter type of the feasible interface, which we call paper gum in Nigeria, to cut that of my lining part. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly use my wording, what I cut out on the wording, to cut that of the lining. All right, and I'm cutting it out in pairs. Okay, so for the lining part, I'm going to be cutting two pieces. Okay, because this paper gum is kind of very light, so I want it firm on my lining, a little bit firmer on my lining, so that's why I'm cutting out two pieces for each part. Okay, so I have for the side front four pieces, two for one part and two for the other part, and for the center front I have two pieces of this paper gum. Can you see? So this is for the center front, and you can see that it didn't exceed the under bust as well. I'm going to put this aside and show you what I have for the side front. Can you see? So for the side front, I have also two pieces on each part of the cups. So you guys, can you see? Now that I have this already cut out, I'm going to quickly go over to my ironing table and show you how to gum this using your iron. Okay, for your lining, you are supposed to use your iron and fuse the paper gum into your lining. But for this wording, you have two choice. You can either use hemming gum just like I'm doing right now, or you make use of your pins to hold it down and stitch. Okay, but for me, I like to make use of hemming gum because it's easier that way, and it makes your work very easy. It makes your wording lay flat on your fabric. Okay, that is just it. So I'm just going to quickly gum this together and head over to the table to show you the outcome. So this is what we have. Can you see the way they are glued to the fabric? Okay, so I'm just going to quickly go over to my sewing machine and join the lining, and then come back to show you what I have. And from there, I'm going to quickly use my fabric, that is the actual fabric, to show you how you should go about this. So you guys, can you see how curvy this is looking? And I have enough room for my bust to fit in. Okay, so I'm going to quickly show you how to go about this. So how I joined my lining piece together is the same way you're going to follow to join the actual fabric. So you're going to be needing a pin if you're a beginner, so use your pins to hold this down together. All right, so can you see what I'm doing? I'm going to hold one part of it to the center front and the other side of it to the also center front of the other side. Okay, so and once I am done holding this down, I'm going to quickly go over to my sewing machine and stitch using half an inch. Can you see? And the trick to this is, if you want to sew this, you can either start from the under bust point and sew towards the upper part, and then turn it over and sew from that same under bust to the down part. For me, I like using sewing from the down part, okay, to the upper part. So you guys, can you see what I have? I'm just going to turn this over and show you what I have here. So the difference between the lining and the actual fabric is that for the lining you're going to top stitch, but for the actual fabric you're going to have to just notch and then iron it out, and then use your hairstay or your paper gum to hold the seams, okay, in place. So can you see what I have? So you guys, this is that for this tutorial. We have come to the end of it, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.